Yeah, the SPY campaign. Do you close the trades once they hit 50% profit? Yeah, close them at 50% profit. And the reason you want to do that is because if you don't close at 50% profit, you risk the trade going back against you and potentially being a loser. Anytime you take a trade off for a profit, your win rate's always going to be much higher. So if you have a profit target, you're always going to have a higher win rate. And that's typically what you want. Conversely, so some people ask about this, stop losses. If you have a stop loss, you're locking in a loss. You're always going to have a lower win rate. So that's why I typically don't talk about stop losses. I don't use automatic stop losses ever. My stop loss is, okay, this trade has gone against me. My original assumption on the trade was wrong. I don't want to lose any more money. You just mentally, now's the time to take off the trade. But don't go put on automatic stop losses on all your trades, because those things do get triggered a lot. Those get triggered far, far more than what most people realize.
Well, just real quick on that, that's like what I learned very early on in my trading experience was when you use a take profit or a stop loss, you're essentially playing poker, showing your hand.
Yeah. Yeah. How so? What you're thinking on that?
Well, because the market sees that.
They see the resting order.
Yeah. So it becomes a target.
Sure. You can become a target for the for players that want to take the other side.
Yes, correct. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing, especially with the automatic stop losses, like the people that are used to putting on those closing stop loss orders, I think a lot of them are used to trading stocks or possibly scalping futures, because that's a common thing people do. But remember, a lot of these options, especially depending on the underlying, you can have really wide bid-ask spreads. So you're going to be getting stop losses triggered all the time that are not real. They're not dangerous positions. They're not positions you would have closed. But for whatever reason, that option printed a really weird price there for a second. You got stopped out, locking in that loss that wasn't, in many cases, a real loss. I mentioned my August 5th trades that were so bad underwater, thousands and thousands of dollars underwater on some of those trades that weren't real losses. Those were just the really crazy wide bid-ask spreads on some of those options during that 1,000-point drop that the NASDAQ had that day. And if I would have had automatic stop losses on those things, I probably would have taken $10,000 to $15,000 worth of losses that would have been tripped from just automatic stop losses that I would never have taken in real life, right? So you have to be really careful. Don't ever, automatic stop losses are dangerous.
Now there is a caveat to what I said. When you use a stop, yes, it is still showing your cards when you're using it. But if you're up big in profit and you do obviously this wouldn't necessarily be following what you do, but if you're in good enough profit, that stop loss could actually be a winning trade.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, and I will sometimes bracket an order, where you have a profit order and a stop loss order on at the same time, because I've already made so much on the trade anyway. Yeah, sometimes you will. I won't say I've never put in, that kind of trade, but it's rare, very rare. But yeah, the market, it's interesting. You mentioned the market sees your closing orders. Yeah, sometimes I can actually manipulate the pricing on some of these options, the ones that have really wide bid-ask spreads. I can just go in and put in an order, maybe an order I don't even want, on an options position, just to change the pricing. So the mid price, changes, drastically in one direction or the other. You can definitely, especially on the really low liquidity stuff, you can really manipulate the pricing if you want to. And especially if you're somebody with a large account, like a hedge fund, obviously they can really push things around if they want to. Yeah, you have 321 put credit spreads in SPY at 47%. So you have the March put credit spreads. They're already at 47%. Yeah, I mean, on a day like today, take them off. And the reason I say that is because those things haven't been on very long. If you were putting them on for March 31st for March expiration, you probably only been in those trades a week or two at most. I bet you just put them on. If you already made 47%, close them right now. To make that much money, that percentage of profit in such a short time, yeah, always, take the profit. Don't hold out for 50%, because then that might be a situation where now you end up holding it for another month or so. Was it worth it just to squeeze out another few bucks? Now, if you make a pretty good profit in a few hours or a few days, yeah, always just take the trade off. I always say, like, if I put on a trade and within one day I make 25, 30%, I'm just going to go ahead and close it. I'm not holding for 50%. Not if I get hit over the head with 30% profit in one day. Heck, how often does that happen? Just because of the little bit of time I was in the trade, it's better return on capital. Just go ahead and take that profit and move on to the next trade. Yeah. 2 days, you've only been in it 2 days and you made 47% profit. Yes, take it. Take the profit. Wow. Yeah, congratulations on that.